Sports Podcast, episode number 196. Right?
You sounded so confident with that.
Yes, Skype sucks.
No, listen. I don't understand the obsession with Zoom anyway, because first of all, on top of my mic never working on it, I don't like the way it's laid out. I like this video wise. It just looks better too.
You like to see yourself. That's okay. You can just admit it. It's okay.
I like it to not have. But I like it to not have.
Thank
boxes.
Thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
The square black boxes I don't like. This just looks better visually. It does.
I'm gonna strongly disagree with you there, but we can.
You're on your own on that one.
No, yeah. It is. Don't
worry, Jared. We can record on Friday on Zoom. We're good. We'll go back to our home.
Do whatever you guys want. It's mainly for the mic. If the mic worked on Zoom, we'd be on Zoom. But it doesn't. My mic shits the bed.
Maybe you should fix the mic.
Yeah.
But if it works on Skype, then what would make it? What would be the difference? There's no setting that just makes it cut out halfway.
Quality of Skype makes it the difference.
Jared fixed his mic. I mean, last week he was holding it in his hand like a Neanderthal, and this week he figured it out.
That was a physical problem.
So what?
A mic is a physical thing. A microphone is a physical thing. Fix it.
No, this is a technical thing.
No, physical.
Be like Pat.
You hold it.
Be like Patrick from SpongeBob. Just take a hammer and just hit it a couple times till it works.
You're lucky you're having a good hair day.
Yeah, I'm having a damn good hair day. I don't have to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. First of all, I mean, we should start the show off with this, obviously. Prayers to Tiger.
Dude.
Absolutely insane. Thank God he's alive. So I'm sure if everybody listening to the show, watching the show, I'm sure is heard by this point.
I'm gonna be so upset if it comes back that it was like an alcohol thing, because it was a one car collision. Like, it was himself. He rolled his car. So,
right. It was just it was early. It was like 7:15.
Yeah. I don't want to think that, because like it seems like his life's on track. Obviously his playing career is probably over. If clearly it was a both leg double surgery. Like, I highly doubt he's gonna play competitive golf again. But like, at least he's alive.
Right. I don't want to make any assumptions at this point.
That's my assumption. That's my one assumption. I assume he won't be able to play professional golf again.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I don't want to make any assumptions based on why it happened, how it happened. But
no. I just hope it's not the case.
I hope it's not the case too. It was crazy when that notification came through, it was almost like, okay, is this a joke? Because this is also like, this kind of thing has come out a million times, not just about Tiger Woods, but about a bunch of different players that has gone viral. So when I first saw it, half of me was like, is this real? And then checking it out, it was like, oh God, this is real. And the thing that sucks is we waited. So other than Tiger obviously being in tremendous pain, Tiger just came back, honestly, like relatively not too long ago. So
and he was good, even that he was even good at golf that closer, being like, it wasn't that long since he actually became good again. Like, he figured it out.
Right. And if Tiger can't come back to golf, that's devastating for the sport of golf. Devastating. But obviously you care more about the guy's health first and foremost. So praying for him, hope that he gets the best case scenario out of this situation. So, Tiger, prayers to you. Today's show, we are going to talk about the Patriots situation. I asked you guys for topic ideas. It's very close to the show, so I already wrote down some topic ideas, but it's close to basically what we wanted to talk about, what you guys wanted to talk about anyway. Cam Newton went on, what's it called, the Athletic podcast?
I am athlete, I think.
I am athlete.
I am athlete
with Chad Ochocinco. Who are the other ones? That's all I remember. Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall's like the host, and Fred Taylor. Yep.
They talked a lot of Patriots, a lot about Bill Belichick. Cam called Bill Belichick dope as shit.
All three of them did. The three of them that played for the Patriots did. They were like, we love Bill. Bill's chill.
But Cam was talking about the Patriots, and this was my biggest takeaway from the Patriots. From this podcast was Cam. That was a Cam Newton a way to go around suggesting that he wants to be back with the Patriots. And really, it was a good campaign for him to come back to the Patriots. He wanted the Patriots to know, hey, I want to come back to your team.
It was an audition. It was an audition tape.
It was an audition tape.
It was a pitch. It was a sales pitch. It was a sales pitch. It was. He sat there and said, and he had buddies to back him up, right? It was people who had played New England, right? So they know the Patriot way, and they said, Cam, you didn't get much help now. Chad Ochocinco, you didn't have any dogs, right? You didn't have any big guys to throw to. Look who you throw. And then Cam Newton steps in and defends Doughboy, right? Defends N'Keal Harry. Like, it was a perfect, all right, you guys are going to push me a little bit. I'm going to defend my teammates and say, I want to go back because that's the only place I'm going to be able to start. Like, right now, the Patriots' job is really the only one that Cam Newton could come in and say, I have a chance to start here because you know what? There's not a better option. And there isn't right now. Like, I would probably take Cam over Mariota.
There's one better option for Cam Newton to go to where he realistically could start.
Washington football team?
Yes.
What about the Bears? Am I blanking on the Bears? Who's the Bears quarterback? Because they're it seems like
they still have
done
Foles, don't they? Don't they still have Foles?
They do have Foles, but it seems like Nick Foles is Nick Foles. Nick Foles is exactly what you get every time.
Wouldn't you rather start Nick Foles than Cam Newton after watching last season?
I don't know.
I would.
I don't know.
I would too.
Because
and Trubisky.
You can talk yourself into the situation where you can believe that Cam Newton really didn't have the weapons and you could realistically give him a shot, which is what I think could happen with the Patriots. Now, listen, this topic here, I wanted to talk about this real quick. Cam Newton, Marcus Mariota. As I said at the start of the show, I think those are your two realistic options.
Can I throw a third option in there? Because I'd rather a third person.
Who?
Fitzmagic.
Yes.
Oh my.
Thank you.
God.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Yes. I don't want Fitzmagic.
Why? You want to win, right? Like you're not sitting here saying you want to suck. If you're a team that wants to win and then pull in pieces and find a quarterback, I think now your ideal situation is Ryan Fitzpatrick and draft a kid in the draft that you like.
Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't win.
Are you kidding me? He wins enough.
Doesn't win.
He
wins on these miracle plays. That's why his last name is Fitzmagic.
I don't care. That's something to watch.
He's the
this
Magic
year. Last year
Man.
Sucked. Yeah, I want the Magic Man.
T-shirt
Bring
about
him in.
this.
I'll wear a Magic Man T-shirt.
Realistic,
Bring him in.
I don't think he would have done much of anything with this Patriots roster last year.
If the Patriots have him this year, the Patriots are at least 500.
So you would essentially prefer.
Well, what's the difference? I don't care about 7-9 versus 8-8.
You would essentially prefer. You would essentially prefer a guy that proved last year he couldn't handle being here, and a guy that couldn't do anything as the second overall pick in the 2015 draft in Tennessee. You want those two guys as opposed to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who at least has a little bit of success at the NFL level.
Look, I don't want to have to go back
into
your tweets the night that Marcus Mariota came in for the Raiders. I don't want to have to do that because I don't even know. I don't even know off the top of my head if you guys tweeted anything, but I bet I can go in and see hey, Bill, why didn't you get Marcus Mariota?
I can check my mind like you did with Carson Wentz.
At least one of you. Yes, and I retract that, but I went the opposite direction. I talked myself into it.
Yeah, I'm talking myself out of Mariota because Ryan Fitzpatrick's a better option.
We saw Mariota, but Mariota is also 27 years old. So potentially, look, I don't believe that Bill's going to take a first-round quarterback because that's not Bill. Bill's going to take a D3 defensive end somewhere because he's got a high motor and a smart brain. That's exactly what Bill's going to do. Or he's going to trade that first-round pick for 2 seconds.
Or he's going to draft Micah Parsons out of Penn State, which is what I fully expect them to do. They're going to go Micah Parsons.
So that's my point. If you're not going to make a succession plan, you might as well trade in what's the trade value was what? 5th round pick, right?
5th round pick. Yep.
I will trade a 5th round pick for Marcus Mariota.
You know what you do? This is what you do. You do that and then bring in Fitzpatrick. Okay, let him go at it and then draft a kid. That's it. Because I don't want Jarrett Stidham here next year. I don't want Cam Newton here next year.
Stidham's going to be on this roster next year.
Which is stupid. You looked and you saw that report. It was Greg Bedard.
Yeah.
And apparently players in the locker room didn't want him playing. And that's apparently what led to Cam getting all these plays and all these starts is because the players wanted Cam Newton. So do I believe that Cam Newton could get you some players here? Yes, because Cam is still a name in the league. Like guys will play with Cam Newton.
That's super interesting to me because I totally agree. I think Cam is a free agent attractor.
It's a draw.
I
think Cam
think
Newton would be the best
do it.
free agent attraction you have. Like if you bring back Cam Newton, you have a better chance of signing free agents, skill position wise, getting some dogs for him versus bringing in Mariota.
And here's what we all can agree on right now. The Patriots need to sign somebody sooner rather than later, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on those free agents. There's already a report out there, I think 98.5 had it, that Hunter Henry wants to go to a team with a proven quarterback. Hunter Henry is ideal who you need in this Patriots offense as a tight end.
Would
so
Hunter
if you
Henry,
want to bring
would
those
Hunter Henry
guys
play
in,
for Cam Newton? Like, would Hunter Henry consider Cam Newton good enough
I think so.
after watching him last year?
I think Cam Newton is a draw, like you said. I really do think Cam Newton is more of a draw than Marcus Mariota or Ryan Fitzpatrick.
So spin zone, wouldn't it benefit the Patriots just to bring Cam back?
Guys, signs are pointing to Cam coming back.
And if you go back to the podcast, right? If you go back to the podcast, like when Brandon Marshall's like, you're going back to New England, he's like, I don't know, maybe it's a chance. And then you guys talking? And he's like, come on, I can't talk about. Like they're talking, like they are actively talking. And Bill's going, okay, I'm going to look absolutely everywhere else, but Cam, keep your phone near you because there's a good chance you'll be our starting quarterback next year. Like it doesn't look like Jimmy G is going to shake free because Deshaun Watson apparently doesn't want to go there. Like he wants to go to the Jets or the Dolphins, so we're screwed in the AFC East anyway. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Like that's only Jimmy G is the only other guy out there that I pretty much want. Like
let me ask you guys this hypothetical: if Deshaun Watson gets traded to the Panthers, and Teddy Bridgewater is not a part of that package, do you call Carolina and see what it takes to get Bridgewater?
Yeah. But I think the thing is, Bill had a chance to look at all these guys last year. I mean, I know Teddy Bridgewater got a good amount of money. I don't think Bill was going to pay that. But, like, Bill had a shot at everybody that's probably going to be – like, Tyrod Taylor's out there. Do you want to go get him? Like, no. I don't want to go any of these guys. I want Ryan Fitzpatrick or just bring Cam back at this point. Like,
here's the thing about Fitzpatrick. If you could promise me – if Bill could look me in the eye and say, Nick, I'm gonna draft a quarterback first round. I'm taking Mac Jones. I would take Fitzpatrick then because he's more of a bridge than Mariota is. Because Mariota's 27 still. He's still young. So if Mariota like actually looks good, that's a game changer. That's a totally different story. But also going back to Al, what you said before, you said that Cam showed that he couldn't handle New England. I think the opposite. I think he handled it very well here. I just think he wasn't good.
Playing wise. Sorry. So let me rephrase that. As far as saying all the right things and doing all the right things, yes, he did a great job with that, and I can commend him for that. But productivity on the field, not even close.
And see, one thing I think I could talk myself into Cam. I don't want to. Like, I really don't want to. But if someone said to me what Cam said, right? Cam basically said how you could talk me into it. Well, hey, you know what? I was playing really well until I got COVID. Then I got stuck behind where everybody kept moving forward, and I was behind the whole time.
Yeah, that was an excuse. That was a bad excuse.
I know, I agree, but this is his argument. Like, hey, I got stuck behind, and then COVID happened, and I didn't know the offense. I'm like, dude, the only thing I hate about using that excuse is like he didn't have an offseason, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but by the end of the season, it looked worse than it was at the beginning.
The end of the season was bad.
Like he couldn't throw the football. So if you're telling me, this is mind-boggling, if a free agent like Hunter Henry looks at Cam Newton, Mariota, and like Fitzpatrick and says, I'm only going to come to New England if you sign Cam Newton, then what do you care about? You're not going to get your stats with Cam Newton. He barely threw the ball to any tight ends last year. All he threw was Jacoby Myers.
None of them are good options. I don't like any of these options.
That's why I want to draft. If those are the options, I want Mac Jones. Just play Mac Jones.
If those are the options, I want a quarterback first round. Absolutely.
That's it.
Evan Lazar from CLNS Media. He's high on Trey Lance. I don't know much about Trey Lance, but he's high on Trey Lance, and I trust Evan Lazar. So sure, you want to take Trey Lance, just a first round quarterback. I will be very happy with if you do that. Because again, I don't want any of these guys long term. None of them are long term answers. We saw overall, even if Cam had better weapons, he might have done better last season, but I don't think he would have been anything special. I don't think they were making the playoffs. I don't think they were a good football team, obviously, with the weapons that he had. But even when he had people open, he was putting the ball at their feet. He wasn't accurate, although he had a 65% completion percentage. Yeah.
Easy throws. For an NFL quarterback at Cam Newton status, easy throws.
Now, if you had to choose between the three, we know that you're going Fitzpatrick, Jared.
Oh, yeah.
Now, are you going Fitzpatrick, Mariota, or Cam?
100% not going Cam. I don't want Cam anywhere near a Patriots uniform.
I'm gonna go in his closet, so that's he's gonna go.
I'm gonna go with Jared. I'm gonna go with Fitzpatrick.
I don't get it. There's more potential with Mariota. There is.
But
we know he's mediocre. We just know he's wildly mediocre, and he's a deep target guy.
But think about this.
Nobody to run deep.
Think about what you just said, though. All these quarterbacks would be here on a short-term basis. Do you want Marcus Mariota at 27 to come in for maybe a year and then he does okay and then you're back to square one? Or would you rather get Ryan Fitzpatrick, have him be the bridge quarterback, and then go, like you guys said, go draft a quarterback, and then that can be your future, and then you have at least a year or two to develop said quarterback?
What are you saying, Jared?
I was going to say, with the Mariota thing, he's young enough where I don't think he can do this. This is why I don't want him. I don't think he can do this. But if he's young enough where if he came in and proved he could play, you have a quarterback for 5 years, right?
That's what I'm saying. He has the most upside, and for a 5th-round pick.
But that's what I'm saying. I think you do it. I think he should be in camp. Let him and Fitzpatrick duel it out. I'd rather Fitzpatrick. But if you're telling me that if he comes out hindsight and has a good season and shows he can play and pulls the Tannehill, right? Different franchise, better situation, plays well under Belichick and Josh McDaniels, then maybe. Then sure, then you have a quarterback for 5 years, and you're not going to win an AFC East with Mariota or Fitzpatrick, so it really doesn't matter. Like, the Bills are the crop, you have the Dolphins there, you're the 3rd best team with Mariota on your roster. But if you have a decent team for the next 5 years while Brady's still winning Super Bowls, like, that's good enough for me. So if you think Mariota can do that, then sure, bring him in and see what he can do. But ultimately, if you want to win next year, which is clearly what Bill wants, and you're going to be aggressive and as aggressive as possible with free agents and targets and offensive weapons, like, I'd rather Fitzpatrick be throwing them the ball next year than Mariota.
If you draft a quarterback 1st round, I'll take Fitzpatrick because then you have the plan there, the potential plan. But even so, I mean, I don't know what the Patriots expect. If the Patriots don't draft a quarterback 1st round, I think they just think they're going to get another Tom or Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he thinks like, I found Tom and then I found Jimmy, so I'm going to find somebody else. It's like, bro, you also drafted Stidham, who sucks. So,
you drafted Stidham. You drafted Ryan Mallett.
Yeah, you drafted Jacoby Brissett.
Ryan Hoyer.
I'm still not giving up on the Jimmy G to New England thing. I'm still not giving up on that just yet.
So I want it to happen, but what's going to shake them loose? Like, San Francisco needs to be absolute sure they're getting a better quarterback, and now what's the options? It's Deshaun Watson or bust. Would they take Teddy Bridgewater over Jimmy G? Like, I don't know if I'd take Teddy Bridgewater over Jimmy G. So there's not much, and Jimmy G brought him to a Super Bowl 2 years ago. So
that's why I don't understand why everybody's so down on Jimmy. He was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
The Patriots could get back to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G. That's why I want him here.
Well, you need to get weapons around him. He's not doing shit with these receivers either. He's not doing shit.
No, of course not. But if you look what he did with weapons, shaved dick and balls with Manscaped. But look, if you give Jimmy G the weapons, look what he did in San Francisco. Look at the weapons he had out there, and he got to the Super Bowl and he used them. Jimmy G doesn't need to be the NFL MVP for you to win a Super Bowl with him. He just needs to manage the game and get the ball to his weapons. You have a running game with the Patriots. You have a decent running game.
You do, and honestly, that's what brought San Francisco to the Super Bowl was that run game. Yeah, that's the year Mozart was going bananas.
Jimmy G, Hunter Henry, maybe one other receiver, and your running game, and that's a decent offensive situation that you have Jules defensively. And Jules, if he plays this year, who knows? But I
think he is coming back. I think he plans on it.
Yeah, but the Patriots can cut him.
Yeah, but they're not going to cut him.
Why? What if he went and asked? What if he said, "Hey, I want to go play with Tom"?
Well, it's a different story. But the NFL can't become the NBA. That's what's happening.
Brady's making it the NBA.
That's what's happening here, and I don't want to see that happen.
Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Gronk, all of them making it the NBA.
The hell was that?
Are you just breaking news here? Was that the breaking news, Dunger?
Nothing. Let's move on.
Who is? Okay. All right. So you know what? Let's roll over then into Celtics talk for the next 15 minutes because I know we have a lot of thoughts on the Celtics here. And here's my opening take here with the C's. This team's got no balls.
No balls.
No grit. No balls. No fire. Especially when I was going to say Marcus Mariota. When Marcus Smart's in the game, I know he's hurt right now, but when he's in the game, they at least have a testicle. But with him out of the game, there's nothing. There's no grit. In the second New Orleans started making a comeback, it was over. They folded. It was bad. And when you have Kemba Walker, one of your main stars, playing as bad as he is, you're not going to do dick. You need Kemba to perform.
I'm all for trading Kemba at this point. And I love Kemba. I'm a Kemba guy.
Well, people are pissed at Danny Ainge for trying to sell damaged goods.
Like, this is something that it's getting – I don't think you can trade him. But, like, I don't know what we can do now. Like, what are we doing with Kemba? Like, what's happening with Kemba? He's getting open looks to close games, and he's not hitting them. Like, what happened to Cardiac Kemba?
And he's maniacally laughing afterwards.
Yeah, like, what happened to Cardiac
Kemba?
Like, you want to win, bro. You're getting the good look shots. Like, coming into him being here, I would trust Kemba Walker to take those shots. I said it day one when he got here. I said, great, that's a decent replacement. It's not Kyrie Irving, but, like, with Tatum and Brown, if Kemba gets an open look, I trust him to win a game. Do I now? Absolutely not. He's getting so many open looks. And it's like, okay, now what? What are you going to do? Like, there's options like Cook from Quinn Cook was just released, right?
Boogie Cousins.
Lakers, Boogie Cousins is out there now. Houston just released him.
I have a question about Boogie. Jared, you pay more attention probably to other teams than I do. Has Boogie been good?
No.
Because you haven't heard anything about him. Because realistically, remember a few years ago, everybody was going nuts over Boogie Cousins.
Yeah, the excuse for this one, the excuse for everything that they're making in Houston is, well, it's not what we were trying to do. It didn't work. Like, we want to move. We want to be smaller and go faster, and he just wasn't living up to that, and that's why he wasn't doing well. I think he could do well with the Celtics. I do. I don't necessarily know if I want him. I want Robert Williams to play more before I'd get Boogie Cousins in here, because like
Williams has to start starting.
Yeah, 100%. Time Lord needs to be in the start lineup.
Yes.
Whether you sit Thompson or Tice, I don't care. That double big lineup doesn't really work that well anyway. Robert Williams is so freakishly athletic, and he's finally figuring it out.
And he blocks everything.
Yeah, He's a machine. He's becoming a machine that why everyone in Celtics world kept saying stop trading Robert Williams for nothing, because he's actually a legit player, and he's proving that he's going to be here for a while. There's not much out there that can help you. You need a legit point guard, or at least trade for John Collins. Like, there's not much out there right now that the Celtics can get help from, because your problem is Kemba Walker right now, and he's not helping. Marcus Smart comes back and probably wins you a couple of these games. Like, you don't lose the game with the Pelicans if Marcus Smart's out there. God,
maybe.
Because he rips him a no. You don't lose that game with him on the floor.
Right. There's a lot that can be said about this Celtics team right now. Number one, best way to describe them, consistently inconsistent. They just can't close out games.
Consistently ballless.
Yes, consistently inconsistent, if we're going to go, politically correct here. That's number one. Number two, Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is proving to be more valuable than people want to give him. Than people give him credit for.
But they weren't even winning when he was there.
Yes, but he at least defensively
they were still
give
sucking.
You a
we were
start.
having this conversation.
But this Celtics team, they're not going to do anything this year. There's nothing.
Dude, Danny Ainge even came out and said, this roster is not good enough. This roster is not a chance. Whatever Alex got distracted by.
Yeah, Danny, you're building the roster.
I thought there was a police siren outside of my house, which was weird. Yeah. But
they coming to get you for having a hot take?
Yeah, it's surprising. I know, shocker. I don't understand the Celtics team, because it's just amazing to me that we all thought, and we all said on this podcast, they were better on paper coming into this year. But it's not their year, because Jason Tatum had COVID. Jaylen Brown has his knee issues. Peyton Pritchard was hurt. Smart's hurt. Thompson was hurt before training camp started. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong.
I just don't think the talent's here. I don't.
I have a question for you guys. Danny Ainge related. Do you think Danny Ainge overlooked Terry Rozier? Would you rather Terry Rozier or Kemba Walker?
I would rather have Terry Rozier here right now.
Kemba Walker.
As we're sitting here right now, I would rather have Terry Rozier.
I'd still
because he also going back to the balls conversation, he's got balls. He's chippy. Baby. He's got attitude. This lineup so soft right now.
Yeah, but he also takes ridiculous shots, like questionable shot selection. At least Kemba, he's missing these open looks, but they're open looks. They're good shots.
Because they're letting him shoot.
Kemba Walker or Isaiah Thomas?
Oh, God. Well, like 2021 Isaiah Thomas?
No, right? Yeah, who looked good in his 2 USA games. He looks like he's back. Why can't bring him? Dude, that's a move I made.
Yeah.
Go get him and bring him off the bench. Wouldn't you bring Isaiah Thomas back to come off the bench?
Off the bench, sure, I would do that.
I listen, I really hate to say this, but this Celtics team is reminding me of the 2018-2019 team, where they just couldn't do anything right. They could get nothing going. They were losing games that they should have been winning.
Kyrie Irving was here.
But even so, that team we had high expectations for. I'm not saying that this team had the same expectations, but you expect them to beat the New Orleans Pelicans when they're a young team that's still struggling. You expect them to beat the Atlanta Hawks.
And look, I think Danny Ainge deserves crap, right? This roster is not good enough. But at the same time, I don't think thought he was going to lose Gordon Hayward. I think he wanted to keep Gordon Hayward, who's hurt again, by the way. Gordon Hayward, hurt again.
Got a hurt hand. He's fragile.
Hurt
we
hand.
know that.
We knew, yeah. But having a good season. Danny Ainge had a plan, and it put it in play. He put it in motion initially, right? Like you basically fleeced the Cavs for Kyrie Irving, right? You do that trade 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, because you knew IT was hurt. You get Kyrie Irving, you bring Gordon Hayward in here, you still have Al Horford. That trio with Tatum Brown, like you see all those with Terry Rozier off the bench, Marcus Morris, excuse me, like that team should have been a lot better off and probably could have won a title together if Kyrie Irving was all in. Like
I'm seeing a lot of grit on that team too, a lot of aggression. That is
the
what
balls
this
on that
missing.
team. Morris, you have Al Horford, who's always willing to get dirty for you down low. You still have the Jays. Terry Rozier's still here. Marcus Smart's on that team. Guys, that team was a title contender, and they just underperformed because Kyrie's a crazy psychopath.
Oh,
Marcus, that was the year Marcus Morris screamed, I think, right? Screamed
at Tristan
in
Thompson.
the mouth, inside the mouth of Tristan Thompson.
Oh, and guys, and what was it? See, now I lost my train of thought. Go ahead. Somebody else talk.
It's common.
Yeah.
No, I
The
did.
Celtics are not built.
I got it.
Go Bruins.
There you
go
go.
Red Sox. The season is over.
Yeah, listen. Remember when we could have had Miles Turner here? Remember when that could have been a thing?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
But Miles Turner wasn't that good. Miles Turner was overrated. Wah.
No, it wasn't Miles Turner. It was the second piece of that trade.
Kemba?
No, I'm saying with the Hayward situation to trade to Indiana for Miles Turner, and then Danny Ainge got so greedy that he wanted Victor Oladipo too, which credit to him. You know, you wanted to get more. I can appreciate that. But when Indiana says no and it's like, here, take Dougie McDermott with you, a bench piece who can shoot, which the Celtics need, and you don't pull the trigger, how big of an idiot do you look?
Do we think that Gordon Hayward would have said yes? Because
Probably.
Charlotte came in and paid him more money, and he just said yes.
That's his home state, though, isn't it?
No, I know, but like, wasn't there a deal in place and Hayward just went to Charlotte because Jordan swept in and paid him a ton of cash? Like,
I thought that was late. I thought he jumped in late and was like, yo.
Later.
Okay. So part of that is on Danny, because if Danny just said yes, it would never have been an issue because he would have gone. So like, yes, I partially blame Danny for that, but I don't know. I just look at it and go,
you just get possessed.
I think Danny Ainge needs to. I lost my train of thought. I think Danny Ainge.
your eyes went blank.
Yeah, you know what? I was staring into your beautiful eyes, your soul over there. Look, Danny Ainge needs to be on the hot seat. Brad Stevens needs to be on the hot seat because
not getting talked about enough.
Not getting talked about enough. Brad Stevens has been here for a very long time now, and I'm a Brad guy. Like, I think Brad Stevens is a good coach, but this team needs a kick in the ass. And like, do I think I'd rather? It's not gonna happen, but like, if I was to choose Doc Rivers for this team right now, or Brad Stevens, wouldn't I choose Doc Rivers to coach this team?
That's the thing.
Look what I've done with Philly this year.
I'm starting to worry that the team doesn't respect Brad.
Yeah, I think he's losing the team.
I do too.
I think like you look at them the first few quarters and they're flowing and they're running their offense and like what Brad's in play, and then the end of the game, you don't think Brad's trying to get them to run the offense and then they're just playing iso ball. Like it's consistent. Every time they need to close the game, they just give the ball to Tatum Brown, they play iso ball, and they look like they're playing a pickup game. Versus the beginning of the game, they run the offense and they clearly do what Brad is at. So I think Brad's capable, but they're just tuning Brad out at the end of these games, is what I really think is happening.
Look, this team's not doing shit this year. Team's not doing anything. And Yeah, go Bees. It's time to start looking at what this team is going to do going forward. Because if you don't talk about what this team's going to do going forward, you're just going to be focusing on this shitbag team that's happening right now. And these moves that were made over the offseason, I mean, I remember the night that the Celtics grabbed Tristan Thompson. Everybody was like, hell yeah, let's go. He's been okay. He's been fine.
Well, I think fine's all you needed. It's just the rest of the team sucks. Like, if the team was what. If the team played the way they did last year, well, that's stupid. If the team played the way they did last year, and then you add Tristan Thompson, yes, I could say, okay, you were the piece that we needed. And that's what I thought. Like, I was like, all right, cool. You just went to the Eastern Conference Finals. The only hole you really had was the big spot, and now you just brought in a dude who can play that spot. Great. And then the rest of the team forgot how to play. Like, what are we doing? And now you have Jeff Teague, who was supposed to be the solid third option, and now he can't get out of his own way. Let's get rid of him and bring in someone else, please. I would go get Cook, right? Like, who just got released. Like, they got to shake this up. Like ASAP, or they're going to be so far out of it they can't. They're going to be playing the freaking 76ers in the first round as the 8th seed if they don't figure this out.
Oh, and by the way, their upcoming schedule, you do realize what's going to happen, right? They're going to beat the Mavericks tonight as we're recording. They're going to lose to the Hawks. They're going to beat the Pacers, and then they're going to get blown out by Washington at home. That's how bad it's gotten. We're expecting them to win the tough games and lose the easy games. That's how sickening it is.
I don't know about Washington being an easy game though, Al. Like, they've been playing a lot. They've won like 5 straight, and those two are figuring it. Beal and Westbrook are figuring out how to play together.
That's still a team when you look at this roster you should beat.
Well, yeah, but like
you should beat them.
You can't be shocked if Westbrook and Beal go off and beat you.
No. But the thing is, Bradley Beal's so disgruntled. He wants out. He's made it clear he wants out. So, I mean, yeah, he's balling.
His ass here. Trade everybody for him.
I would love.
Oh my God,
here.
That's the fix.
Get Bradley Beal here.
Bradley Beal. Yes.
But here's a knock that I don't think a lot of people are talking about it enough. Danny Ainge, that whole Trader Danny nickname's gone. He doesn't make big moves.
No. If he made big moves, you right now trade almost all your young assets for someone like a Bradley Beal. Like someone that's available out there. You trade for John Collins and something else. Like if you're Trader Danny and you think this team's can be legit with the right roster, you said it yourself, Danny, this team's not built to be a roster. Well, it's on you. Yeah, it's on you that this team is not built to be a contender. So make a move. Get rid of these. I don't care about Tremont Waters and Carson Edwards and Taco Fall. Like, trade them all. Those guys are assets for teams that don't want to win. Trade them all. Get some real pieces in here and actually help Tatum and Brown. Because right now they have nobody to play with.
Nobody. No, it's Tatum and Brown. That's it.
That's it. And that's why you're not winning.
And they might want out sooner rather than later if this continues. They might want to be out of here for the foreseeable future.
Well, look what happened. And this is a great example of it. And then obviously we'll wrap the show. Paul Pierce and Danny Ainge didn't see eye to eye. Paul Pierce was threatening to leave because they would do anything. And then it finally sunk in, and he was serious about walking. And then they went and got, obviously, KG and Rael. That was all Danny Ainge. But, like, Danny Ainge took some time on that. It didn't happen overnight. And Paul Pierce had to threaten to leave. And I thought he was going to leave. Like, this is a trend here, and I'm afraid I don't want Tatum and Brown gone. I think they want to be here long term, but the organization has to get them help. And I think they're a better chance of winning a title when those guys hit their prime, which isn't yet by any means. But, like, if the right pieces were here, they could win a title right now. They're good enough.
It sucks. Couch Guys Sports Podcast. Go Sox. We'll be talking about them soon. Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 196. Nick Quaglia, Jared Scali, Al Nahigian. Guys, we will be back next week for episode number 197. We will talk to you then. Thank you for listening. And by the way, officially now, Couch Guys Sports is on everywhere where you can find podcasts. Everywhere. So we're talking Google Podcasts. We're talking Apple Podcasts. We're talking Spotify. We are all over the place, baby. So catch us literally wherever you want. And also, thank you for watching on YouTube as well. Subscribe. Can't say it enough, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will talk to you next week.